Hey everybody, this is Tox from Crits Happen. Thanks for watching. Welcome back. Today I have a video for you of an app game that is kind of a card game and kind of a tabletop game, but is primarily driven in the app. And if you're familiar with things like card monsters or 3 versus 3 style card combat, that's what this game is going to be. I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it's pronounced Chrono Ma. It is very heavily anime influenced, so if you like anime, this might be up your alley, but also if you like card combat, it might be up your alley as well. This is me playing through for the very first time, so you're going to see tutorial stuff in this video. But it does offer some really cool card combat stuff, and quite frankly, the graphics are pretty gorgeous. If you're a fan of anime, like I said, this is probably something that will speak to you directly. But as you can see here, there is a battle setup where it is 3 cards on my side versus 3 cards on the opponent's side. You have an avatar and you have a hand, and then it also shows you your defense, your magic points or your mana points, and your life. The object of the game, as in most games like this, is to reduce your opponent's life to 0. And you're going to do that by using a resource to play cards and then use those cards' strengths and effects to affect the battlefield. There are also some spells involved in the game and some interesting little traps hidden away, which are really cool. One of the things you'll see here is that when you play a character or a creature, you summon them and they come in face down. So very much like summoning sickness, they're not able to attack and be used immediately. But this is also something that you can affect throughout the game. There are other cards that will let you do things to bring somebody out and kind of give them haste or first strike or different types of abilities like that. So a lot of the traditional trading card game tropes are here. You're going to know a good amount of it going into it if you've played games like Magic or Card Monsters or Hearthstone or things like that in the past. These starting tutorial missions are really pretty easy. I mean, they walk you through the basics of, here's what the attack is, here's what the life looks like. And in this game, they're very simple colored spheres. I wish they had done something a little different than that. There are very, very tiny icons at the top of those spheres, but if you're colorblind, it's not necessarily the best thing in the world. I wish they would have gone more symbol-driven than color-driven for something like that. As you see the game play out, it is, you'll see these tiny little symbols in there, but they're not always immediately 100% clear. But that's not the worst thing in the world. Unless you're colorblind, then it is the worst thing in the world. So just a note to all you friendly designers out there. One thing also I'd like to point out, I apologize about the verticality of this video, but this is the only format in which the game actually plays. You're not able to play it in a landscape or portrait mode. So I don't really like videos that are vertical like this, but I enjoyed this game and I wanted to share it with you, and such we suffer together. So this is going to go on to the second tutorial. It's going to show you a little bit about spells that you can use. They call them magic cards. So instead of just playing a character, you can potentially play a magic card. In this case, the Lightning of Zeus. It deals 3 damage to 1 target. Fixed target just basically means the 1 target only. So you're not going to split it up amongst other characters. Your opponent can be a target, and your opponent's creatures can be a target as well. And there's a lot of, very basic things here, but again, the artwork is really good and the combinations are pretty unique because you're going to be able to do some pretty interesting things as you move through the story and as you play with other players online. The movement of the avatar kind of threw me off a little bit. There's really no way to turn that off that I found. If someone has figured that out, that's phenomenal. Please share it with me. I would love to know how to do that. But in most of the game that we've been playing, the avatars are just kind of swaying back and forth, which kind of honestly distracts me a little bit, but it is what it is. The other thing that's interesting about when you summon, you have these little green dots, which are the cost, the mana cost or magic cost to bring out the characters. So if someone brings out a character on their turn, you may not know what the character is because it's face down, but you can take an educated guess based on the amount of mana points or magic points that they used, what or how powerful a card it may be or what it may be, which I find pretty interesting. Now, truth be told, there is a story mode in this game, and it is really, really, really badly written. I don't know, you might like it. I did not like it at all. I felt that the first story that I actually moved through was this were tiger, the character that's above us here. It's his story, and it's just so... It feels like it's written by a 3-year-old at times, which, hey, is not bad. Maybe your 3-year-old can write some stunning literature, and that's wonderful. I appreciate that. This one, I did not appreciate the story too much. I really feel like this is all about the gameplay, finding the right combinations, and making that work. Now, some differences. Card Monsters is also a 3-on-3 card combat game, but the differences this offers is that you're not stuck into a lane necessarily. In Card Monsters, your front center card pretty much only attacks the opposing front center card, and the back left and right cards will attack diagonally. In this case, you can do some interesting different things in terms of who to attack, where to attack, what magic spells to combine with other creatures to make some pretty cool effects and pretty interesting combinations. I have found that while the beginnings of the game are very, very basic, once you push through that, you can find some really unique and interesting combinations. One of the things that I thought was very interesting in the game is the ability to summon a creature on top of another creature. You can do that and gain extra attack and extra defense, and that's kind of unique. I can't think of another app game that uses this type of card combat to actually do that. So you'll see here there is in-app purchases. While the game is free, you don't have to pay anything for it. There is gold in which you can buy additional packs and additional cards. I believe, I may be wrong in saying this, I'm sure the internet will correct me if I am, but I believe there are ways you can actually specifically unlock certain cards if you want to shoot for them, or you can treat it like a trading card game where you download a pack and do something like this where you open different packs for it. The opening animation is kind of cute, cool, whatever. I've never really been a big fan of things like that, but you do get some really big-time rare cards and super rare cards in here, and you'll see a couple of them here as we go through. This is a super rare, Rhadamanthus the Judge. He has an interesting summon ability that all undead creatures other than this one will gain +2 attack. So you can kind of theme your decks around certain things if you want to. There are some real basic creatures. There are some real hefty out there creatures too, which is really kind of cool. And so far to me, that's been the fun of the game. Finding the right combinations, finding the things that kind of fit your play style and how they work together. The deck editor is a little clunky. The deck editor, as you'll see here, I don't know why they focus so much on the avatar and the character that you're playing and not on the cards, but, not my game and not my choice. So they use this flicking option where you flick up a card to add it to the deck and you flick down a card. I have tried dragging. That does not work. It really, truthfully is flicking, and that's a little weird and a little wonky. It kind of fits the whole anime style, maybe. I don't know, he said confidently. But yeah, it's a little awkward. As you can see here, the cards are angled. They're smaller. You don't really get to see exactly, your entire deck the way you would want to see it, I guess is the way to say it. Again, they focus so much on the avatar. So if there's a negative, that's probably it. I just wish that the deck builder was a little more clear in how those things happened. All right, so now we're going to talk a little bit about the story. You're going to see I've chosen this were-tiger. You'll get a little bit of the intro. This kind of was a little odd. Here is this vertical presentation, and we're going to show you this video that really should be horizontal, but it's vertical and you can't change it, and that's odd at best, I guess. There are some things that you kind of got to push through a little bit. Now here we go into more of a full artwork, which is good. The Time Sea, a realm ruled by the divine ruler of time. You'll start to see that this is a very over-the-top kind of story, I guess is the easiest way to describe it. A lot of timey-wimey, wobbly gobbliness, things looking for skills, trying to turn back time. You can get into the story as much as you want. Like I said, I have found that the story really didn't mean too much, and it really wasn't that well written. But the combat was very interesting. These are just going to be, I'm just going to show you a battle or two here of how it went through for the beginning of the story. But as the stories get deeper and harder, the challenges get much, much harder. And I actually like that. I mean, there's an extent to which every app developer has to make the barriers to entry very easy for people to play the game. But this game does ramp really quickly, and I can say confidently, and I've really enjoyed this piece of it, while it ramps quickly in terms of strategy and depth, it doesn't ramp at a level where you feel like I have to pay to be able to beat these things. You can play better and you can win. And I really enjoyed that about this game, because it's very easy for app developers to say, oh, here's the paywall and you're not getting past this unless you pay us $20, and you got to buy this unique character, you got to buy this unique, card, and there's no way on God's green earth you're going to get through it unless you do this. And by the way, here's 85 reminders of how you can give us money. This actually did a really good job. I know a lot of that was tongue-in-cheek, I'm sorry. But this does a really good job of actually making you feel as though the cards you have are worthy enough, and you just have to play better. And I really do like that. So you can see here there's some interaction between the were-tiger and other characters, and it's cheesy and bad and over the top. But you do have the ability to mulligan at the beginning of a turn, and then you start to get into playing a full game. Again, I really like the graphics. I really like the way that when you bring out and summon a character, it's hidden and it's a little bit of a trap. You're like, because there are some characters that only cost a few mana that can do some really big impacts to the game. And there are some that cost a lot that are just big fat guys, and they don't really have game-changing abilities. While being a big fat guy is really important in some of these games, it's a bit of a strategic thing. It's here I am placing a card face down. How devastating is it? How much am I playing a head game? How much am I thinking ahead to the next turn? And I like that. I also do like the three-dimensional capability of once they are summoned, they kind of look like they're rising up out of the cards, and I think that's kind of cool. Again, I think they could have done a little more with this had it not been so focused on the avatar. My were-tiger is huge, and he's just kind of sitting there holding his card, and it's really a still picture that somebody's just animated. It's not a, here's a actual like movie footage of the character, but they do tend to focus on that person a lot. But again, the gameplay is pretty cool. There's a lot of unique strategies to it. The skills, which are a whole other thing we haven't even gotten into, as you summon characters to your board, there's skill icons on them. They're going to help power up skills in the lower left hand, similar to how like your hero in Hearthstone has a hero ability. That's what skills are going to be like, but you can have multiple skills. So that's kind of neat, because that's a whole another layer of strategy, because you could have a deck that you build around some skills and a deck that is built around other skills using similar but different cards. That whole aspect is really, really kind of cool to me. So if you like these type of games, if you like the anime style, if you like the quick card versus card combat of like 2 or 3 cards versus 2 or 3 cards, or if you like games like Card Monsters, this might be right up your alley. I've enjoyed it. I've been playing it for the last several days. Wanted to share it with you guys and let you know my thoughts. Would love to hear yours. Leave a comment below in the YouTube channel. Let us know what you think about Chrono Ma, or however I'm supposed to be pronouncing it. And leave a comment below, or you can engage with us online at Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram by searching Crits Happen. Of course, you can always engage with us here on YouTube. Please do like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications, do all these pushed awesome things so that everyone knows what it is you're watching, and that will help us make more videos for you. In the meantime, if there's other apps like this you would like us to check out, or other apps in general that are board game / card game related that you'd like us to feature, let us know in your comments below, and we'll see what we can do to get to those as well. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy all of your character summoning ways inside of Chrono Ma. Thanks so much for watching. Keep rolling those dice, and we hope they're all crits.